So, the Foo Fighters, small little indie band, you probably never heard of them. I see you have a shirt. They came out with them. They came out with a new album.
Did they?
Just today, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't know that.
Today, as of 200 years ago, as this is the future in space. And what day did it come out?
The 15th.
Of September 2017. All right. So the new album is Concrete and Gold.
Yes.
And it is super awesome. I really enjoyed this album. You said you had mixed feelings?
I have mixed feelings about it. And to let it be known that we are both huge Foo Fighters fans.
Oh, yeah. Our first concert together was Foo Fighters. Here's a picture from it. Aren't we super cute? And now we're married, and life is good and beautiful and wonderful.
Yes.
So let's start right off at the beginning. The first song, T-Shirt.
I don't wanna be king.
All right, T-shirt. Who would ever wear a Foo Fighters T-shirt?
Nobody.
No one
They're such a
ever.
lame band.
Yeah.
So my first thought with this song was, is this sarcastic? Because, it was very soft and is is this a love song?
It starts off with Dave doing, super high-pitched for him vocals. Very sort of wispy and small. And it's this is really strange. And I think it's specifically because the song starts really, really quiet and, sort of taunts you into turning up your volume.
Mm-hmm.
And then halfway through the song, it just ups
Blasts out your sound.
It ups the decibels 1,000,000% and is so incredibly loud. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and, honestly, I think that might have been the reason why he did it.
Yeah.
So that you turn up your volume, and then it's brrr, loud. And it's not even loud heavy, it's, just loud.
Because all the sonic space is filled.
Yeah,
absolutely
there's, some
everything.
ahs,
Yes.
and then there's some guitar, and then there's
speaking of
some
the
cymbals.
ahs, this album, I feel could also be named Supporting Dream Chorus, the album. Yeah, almost every single song has the sort of chorus filling up all the sonic space of the guitars, and the main singing is not filling up.
Yeah.
But this, even though it's short, this song is a minute 17?
Yeah,
minute
it's
10?
really short.
It has a mini guitar solo in it and everything. It goes, and it's really good. And then it just goes instantly right back to the clean vocals at the end.
I heard sudden stop of the rocking.
Yeah, and we can't have that. So let's move on to a song that also rocks. Let's run to it, in fact. Alright, so Run. This was the first single off of the album,
Yes.
and it came with a music video.
Yeah, pretty memorable music video in the old folks' home.
Yeah, where everyone's dressed up in the old people makeup, and they're rocking out and throwing everything down.
And there's a sweet dance number at the end.
Yeah, super weird. And we'll get to that dance number in a bit. But this song puts no pretense on it. It just starts with the with the O's in the chorus and stuff.
It starts with the...
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a later song. This song has the O chorus also.
It does. But it starts with Wake Up.
Yeah, so apparently this was the first
life
song
with me.
that was being written for the album.
Okay.
And it was because the Foo Fighters went on hiatus because he was doing so long in physical therapy for his hurt leg that he was like, I'm going to stop making music for a year. Then about 6 months, of course, anyone who's a musician knows you can't not write music. You can say you want to take a break, but you'll find yourself just humming something new or picking up your instrument and just being like, I'll just do a little something, just tweedling around.
Or when you do take a break for a year, it's not because you want to.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, so this song being Run, in another perfect life, we run, because in this life, which is imperfect, he broke his leg.
Yeah.
And so this song really, it was this sort of inspirational first song, I guess, is what you would say. And it's really awesome. But what makes the song awesome is not because it's got kind of a standard alt-rock sort of verse and a standard alt-rock kind of chorus. Yeah. It's the weird in-betweeny post-chorus. I don't even know what to call it.
It's kind of another verse, I'd say.
It's a breakdown.
The doom, ba-doom, boom,
yeah,
doom.
It gets this Bollywood. I would call it Bollywood, absolutely.
Bollywood or Latin almost. Boop.
Yeah, and exactly. Well, the fact is they do a Bollywood dance number in the music video.
True. Yeah.
And it's just this sort of, that comes out of nowhere, and he has 3 layers of screamy, fuzzy vocals over it. Mm-hmm. If you run with me, and it's awesome, and it's pumped up, and it's full of energy.
And it's heavy, which is something that occasionally comes into Foo Fighters songs, but
What's interesting, a lot of people were saying maybe this shows the Foo Fighters are moving towards a more metal-y sound. And
the rest of the album, no.
The rest of the album, no. But it is a sign that the rest of this album is very much in the sort of screamy, fuzzy zone. just not quite metal. All in all, I would say like it has a really like simple solo, which is and while it fits really well with the Bollywood riff, which surprised me because it seemed like it'd be hard to kind of solo over the sort of thing, but it really works really well even though it's kind of simple. And the chorus, so singable. Wake up, run for your life with me.
And I like how it gets it gets a very floaty feeling, like dreamlike, which you mentioned the dream chorus, which like this song doesn't have so much of that, but it still gets the same dreamlike quality.
Yeah, I would say this album is definitely all the sonic space, not filled up by guitars, drums, and singing is filled up with the dream chorus half the time, I would say. But all in all, Run is, it's a great song. It was the first single, and it
was the first single for a reason.
Yeah, it deserved to be so. It was really, really, like, good and fun. Next song is Make It Right. All right, Make It Right. Was it right for you?
That riff was.
Oh, yeah.
The riff was sick.
That was awesome. And it was so, like, bluesy, so 60s, 70s rock. So, like, a lot of people are comparing it apparently to Led Zeppelin. And I'm like, bro, it's just got so much stank on it. I absolutely love this riff. This song is one of my favorites on this album, absolutely.
Yeah, I said that it's just very retro rock.
Oh, yeah. The chorus is 60s, 70s, like, rock, absolutely.
Yeah. And especially because it's got the
yeah, the dream chorus.
Like, every song does in this album, but, like...
It's kind of weird how much the dream chorus is in every song on this album.
Yeah.
Kind of weirded me out. But no, this song is, like, so groovy and so easy to dance to and move your body to. This song is the one you will put on when you're just, like, feeling like you want to move, feeling like you want to groove.
It's very groovy. My problem with it was that there were a little too many ahs, like just all over the place, like just and then the bridge there was some
well,
stop using that. Oh,
well,
wait.
When you got Justin Timberlake in the studio to do your ahs, what are you gonna do? This was the song that Justin Timberlake is featured on, and it was him doing those. I'm like, you got Justin Timberlake, and he's just doing the background vocals for that stuff.
Why?
What? Why? Yeah, so apparently this was him.
That's why there's so many ahs.
Yeah, it's because it's Justin Timberlake. And I understand he's got an excellent voice, but I wouldn't... If you didn't tell me Justin Timberlake was on this, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
There's nothing...
I would have just thought it was more Layers of Grohl.
Yeah, there's no... Layers of Grohl sounds like a great, like...
Cover band.
Yeah. But all in all, it's super fuzzy, it's super 60s, 70s rock. This is old school. This is Dave Grohl... like, wanting to cover, like, said Led Zeppelin or something like that, but wanting to make his own song at the same time. So therefore he kind of just...
I don't know, my only other problem with it is that, like, and this is a problem that I have with the album overall, is that the vocals are not mixed forward enough. That there's, like, some fuzz on the vocals.
Oh, yeah, like. This whole album is very fuzz-tastic. Yeah. It's super, like, we were talking about, like, also, Queens of the Stone Age was super fuzzy. I think that's just a thing in alt-rock now.
Yeah, I feel like alt-rock is getting more, like, psychedelic these days.
They're, like, it's becoming all, like, sort of stoner groove, early prog sort of nowadays.
Yes.
Because...
even the Foo Fighters.
I have nothing wrong with that. And in fact, like I said, this song is great. I think Make It Right is definitely on the right track for this album.
No, I liked it a lot, too.
Oh, so... moving on to songs that are likable, especially by our friend Ben. The Sky is a Neighborhood.
Sky is a neighborhood.
The Sky is a Neighborhood, but is it? But
so much fun to sing.
Yeah, but is in your neighborhood?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good song, I'd say. It does start with the ahs.
I literally just wrote, this just starts with the dream chorus. It doesn't even, like, hesitate.
There's no pretense of not having that.
Yeah,
all the growls.
All the growls. Well, it's funny, because then when the verse hits in, it's just vocals and drums, basically. And he sounds like he's in a tiny room on the far side of the moon.
I literally wrote, was this recorded in a bathroom?
It easily could have been. He recorded St. Cecilia in a bathroom.
It made me think of the cover of Looking Out a Dirty Old Window.
Yeah, Kids America.
Kids America that they did on...
St. Cecilia. No, it's not St. Cecilia. In the washroom.
In the laundry room.
Laundry room, washroom.
One of those things. Anyway, that cover, which was, like, horrible, like, shit quality.
That's what makes it great, man.
And the vocals on this track reminded me of that.
Yeah, they just feel so at odds with the remainder of the song, which is full of the dream Oz, which is full of the actual up close good mic recorded quality, and the verse just feels like he recorded it. He describes the writing process that he went through as he Airbnb'd some like nice beachfront California property, and just sat there drinking wine in his underwear with a microphone, like for so many hours a day, just trying to make up music. And that was his writing process. And I'm like, it sounds like he just went and recorded this in the bathroom at that beach house, and they're like, nah, just keep that one. That's a good one. And it feels like that. It's not bad. It's just the quality is really weird compared to the rest of the song
really
and album.
Reverby and strange. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's recorded in a small room. Which,
that said, the melody of the like verse and chorus is very bluesy and sassy, and I like it.
The sky is a neighborhood. Which is funny because the chorus I wouldn't even say it has a riff. It's one chord every 4 beats. It's
well, so it relies a lot on the vocal.
Yeah, which melody. Is funny. And what's interesting about the vocal in this one is in the music video, he has his daughters. Those are his daughters playing in the house. But in the song, I heard there's a female voice singing with him. And I thought it might have been, maybe it was his daughter singing along. But it turns out it was actually Alison Mosshart of the Kills, which you probably don't know.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, like they're old school. And like, it's like, I couldn't believe it. It just sounds like she's so clean singing. It's really nice. And I don't know, I just thought it was interesting that they had her. Once again, they kind of just blended her with Grohl. This album features so many people that, one, it doesn't mention them being featured, which is interesting, because if you were like a rap group, you would say featuring this person. But because all these vocals are kind of just mixed in, none of them are featured, which I thought was weird. But yeah, this features Alison Mosshart of the Kills. And
it's kind of just, Grohl has so many friends, I feel like, people who just happen to be at his house. He's like, hey, come sing something for my album, you know?
Well, apparently, in this one, Dave Grohl had never worked with a pop music producer before, and this pop music producer was the producer of The Bird and the Bee, I believe. Who Dave Grohl apparently loves, decided, he was like, hey, Dave Grohl's like, I want you to help me with my hard rock album. And he was like, I've only ever done pop, so I think sounds like fun to me. And so they worked together on this. And in the studio where they were recording with this pop producer guy, that's where they met JT, and that's where they met all these people. They were just hanging out at that studio because that's where they record their pop albums.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really cool. Because Dave Grohl, just went up and talked to everybody. I guarantee you he busted down every single door there and was like, what's up, I'm Dave Grohl. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, you're Dave Grohl. I don't know.
He seems like a very pleasant dude.
Yeah, he seems super cool. But I would say this is also the first song where you can really hear Rami going off. He's the new piano player. The keyboardist, yeah. He's a new keyboardist who is now the 6th member of the Foo Fighters. And finally in the bridge, he kind of gets a chance to do this sort of floaty, sort of, you described it as very like spacey and like sort of fun. And that's the first time I ever get to feel like he actually gets to like write something in there. And for the rest of the album, I would say you don't get to hear him that much. I'm not good at picking up electric keyboard sounds.
Yeah, I couldn't really hear a lot of keyboards in this album generally. But.
Yeah, but speaking of hearing things, I'm talking about fuzz, heavy fuzz on the next song, La-Di-Da. La-Di-Da. Did you love this song, or are you a terrible person?
No, this song was pretty great. It's, like you said before, it's got such fuzz.
This song is overwhelmingly fuzzy.
Yeah, like, at first it almost, like, the first riff that it starts with almost sounds electronic because of how much fuzz it is.
Oh yeah, I think it's just a bass riff, or
yeah.
It's a bass and a very low guitar riff that's just it's really ridiculously, and
the fuzz turns to buzz almost, like it's very.
Well, the thing is, it'll mess with your speakers, I imagine. That's how I kind of feel like it does with us, and it's like 70s rock. It's super groovy. It's super floaty, and then the vocal comes in, and gosh.
Still sounds like it's recorded in a bathroom a little bit.
No
A little bit. It's got that same reverbiness on it. It's not as bad as Sky's Neighborhood, but like it's still a little bit.
What I would say is this song, like I would say the vocal is like 3 or 4 layers of Grohl, and then each one has a different level of fuzz or distortion put on it, and it's just awesome and screamy, and he does like all these screams throughout this song.
I do like his vocal variety here.
This song is almost, I would say, sort of stoner metal-y, because it just gets so much grit in there, and this voice is so. I can't do a girl scream because no one can do it like Girl can.
No, he's got a nice scream.
And I love everything about this.
Yeah, and I thought the chorus has a lot of power. Like when the chorus comes in, it's just
it's much higher speed.
It was the Feast and the Famine.
It is the exact same chorus as Feast of the Famine. If you sing Feast of the Famine, it'll be the exact same.
Yeah.
But this one has awesome screaming and fuzz in it.
It's true. No, and what I liked was that, and it's the thing that the Foo Fighters do well in general, is that the second verse was different than the first verse. But it wasn't different melody or anything. It's just, like, in this song, they added a harmony line, a vocal harmony line layered in, whereas they didn't have that in the first verse. And it's a nice way to amp up the power, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
So that after such a powerful, fast chorus, like, you don't just... Because I really hate when songs just suddenly lose all their energy.
The symphonic metal problem.
Yeah, when they suddenly just lose all their energy when they go in the second verse. And the song doesn't do that because it amps it up a little bit.
Yes, no, this song, like I said, this song is great. I absolutely love this song. And apparently there's saxophone in this song.
Where?
That's what I said. I assume it's a distro sax. I'm guessing if we listen to it again and again and again, we've heard it many times already, but if we listen to it again, we'd hear it under. And he's played by a man named Dave Koz, and I don't know anything about him personally, but if his little saxophone doing or big saxophone doing that I couldn't hear was what made this song just extra tasty, then I'm super glad he was there because it's awesome. Absolutely, I think this song is amazing. I love the song, and then the bridge. The bridge is where everybody goes as hard as they can, and Dave Grohl's doing this like scream, which is if you've ever listened to black metal, specifically Varg's first album. Yeah. He does this pure sort of throat rip sounding, like awful hardcore like emotion scream in the bridge of this song, and I loved it. It was amazing, absolutely fantastic.
I wrote that there were some weird space sounds in the bridge.
Fudge your space. Okay,
and that the guitar solo was kind of meh.
This guitar solo is slow and just one note at a time, held out for 4 beats or whatever.
And then I have to remind myself though that
this isn't metal.
That this is rock music.
But even so, the Foo Fighters have done better solos.
Yeah.
And Shifty, I know for a fact, has done better solos. Yeah. Shifty has done better solos because we saw Chevy Metal, and they were just rocking it out, yeah. So I know he can. But yeah, I just think the song is great, and we should stop talking about it because we'll go on for half an hour. The next song, though, not so much. The next song is Dirty Water. Dirty Water, what do you say?
It wasn't my favorite song on the album. I wrote it's the elevator music version of the In Your Honor acoustic disc.
I like that. Is there a... That's so elevator music, you're exactly right. So this song...
the Foo Fighters write music.
So I wrote that it has a super gentle, clean tone, and the drums and the vocals, everything is so understated. It's compared to La Di Da, it's alternate universe, you know? Mm. It's so soft and
maybe that's
so
intentional juxtaposition there.
Oh,
but.
I don't doubt it for a second. I absolutely believe that's what he's doing. But the fact is, this song is such a shift into the polar opposite direction that when I'm like amped up from La Di Da, this kind of just goes instantly kills your buzz.
Yeah. Well, granted, the song does start in a very soft place, and it stays there for almost 3 minutes. But then for the last 2 minutes of the song, it kind of amps up a little bit.
Way more energy in the end. It gets like a fuzzy, chuggy thing going on.
Yeah. And it does do this, it repeats the main line of the song many times, like at increasing like volume, and it starts out sung, and then he starts to layer in screams, and it's like, yeah, this bridge is going where I want it to go. And then it kind of just like
goes back to sort of.
Back.
The thing is,
like, well,
so one of the main reasons why is the verse is nice and gentle and soft, and lots of like you mentioned Virginia Moon, I think.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like Virginia Moon.
It's got very sort of soft, gentle, and that doesn't surprise us with the Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters can get gentle all the time.
They came out with a whole acoustic album.
Yeah, but then there's the chorus, which is 90% just the Dream chorus. Ooze, that's my problem. Is it's fine if the Dream chorus fills up sonic space. I like that. It supports a lot of the sound. Problem is, it's just Dave Grohl has like 3 lines, and then the rest of it is just oohs and ahs.
Yeah.
And what's surprising is this song also features another artist. And remember how I mentioned earlier the Bird and the Bee, which is a duo. This features Inara George from the Bird and the Bee. So she sings, like, you can hear her a little bit. She gets her girl voice layered in with Dave Grohl's super manly voice. And that's my problem, is everyone who's featured on this album, you can't even tell, because they're just layered together. So you're not even sure you're hearing them. But it makes a more complete sonic sound. Like, this definitely sounds, if you listen to Bird and the Bee, this is much more soft like them. And because the guy's used to producing Bird and the Bee, I'm guessing Dave and the Grohl much more wanted to have that kind of sound for this song if he had her there. So I feel like that's why. But I'm shocked he didn't just give her the chorus or something. If it's 90% Dream Woes, Dream O's, whatever, why not? Dream O's.
Cereal I want to eat every morning.
No, but then they should have, I think he should have given her a third verse rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I still overall like enjoy this song though.
Oh yeah, it's very chill. It's sad end of the day music, is what I said. This is an end of summer song, which is why it's perfect that it's coming out right now. It's 200 years ago.
Oh
yeah. But after that being said, I just want to stop talking about that song because it makes me sad, and move on to Arrows. Arrows
is a song.
Thank you. All right.
I say it starts off sounding kind of like ominous, almost like with the chord progression that they use is do 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 do. Like, I don't know. It just caught me as kind of like creepy.
I don't know. I feel like this song. I said the word weird several times. First of all, the drums sound very much like a synth. Because it goes, and it sounds like this very sort of with like electric sounds on it. The drum did. I don't know if you got that as much as me.
I don't know.
It's just it was always. I mean, I know that Hawkins is a great drummer and he can get consistent sound when playing the drums, but it sounds almost like too consistent and a little weird. And maybe that's just me picking up on that.
Or maybe they were layering him with
a sample.
Synth. Yeah, maybe.
I could totally believe that. The second thing I said that was kind of weird was it starts off like, it's she was born on an empty street, very sort of soft and gentle, and then the pre-chorus is dun 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 dun.
The pre-chorus feels like it's building so much, and then it's got the snare hiss. It's just like
and it builds up and builds up and goes to an all right pace.
Yeah, exactly. I was totally like during the pre-chorus, I was like, yeah, it's gonna build up and be like The Pretender or something, and be like, totally rocking, awesome chorus.
Put it all on the floor basically,
and then. It just
it's not slow. It's got a decent pace.
Yeah, the problem is that the problem with the chorus is that it's got the same exact chord progression as the verse, and so it sounds too similar to the verse. It's just slightly louder.
Well, it even has this sort of, and I said there was something really weird about the chorus. It has this really weird way that it's timed very strangely. Where he's like, fear in her eyes, fear where her heart should be, something, tears in her arteries. It's like got this really weird, like he's like waiting for the beat to catch up to what he's saying. In my opinion, I wrote, I
don't really get that so much, but like it does, like the chorus just does seem like it's lacking something.
Yeah, and that's the problem is the chorus is weak, and then the chorus ends with him being like da da da, and he like does this like awesome scream, and the guitar is doing bends like and you're like, this is what the chorus should have been the whole time.
Yeah, and then the thing about that is like after the first time the chorus happens, there's that bit after the chorus, and it's like, and then it just drops back into the verse, and it's like. Guys, you usually don't have this problem.
Yeah, well, see, the problem is this song is built out of order, right? It should go the verse speed and things as the intro. Then it should go into what the chorus is as the verse, and then it should do the pre-chorus, and then what's at the end of the verse should be the verse, and it would just have so much more energy.
Yeah.
And
well, the thing is, the end of the chorus section did work really well leading into the bridge.
Oh yeah, the bridge
where flow a lot better.
It was a lot of drums and riffing, and everybody really brought their A game in the bridge. And the problem is, I feel like Arrows like didn't have as much A game in it as the rest of the album.
Yeah, like I felt like it could have been like it just needed a stronger chorus. I felt like, and it would have been a great song.
Yeah, I would say that And so the second time the chorus happens and does the ending thing where it's like it like raises it a little bit, so it goes so you're like, oh, it's a solo, we're gonna do a solo, and then nothing happens again, and you're like, fudge this noise. This song is such a tease. I think that's the problem. This song is a tease. It's got a pre-chorus that doesn't lead into an epic chorus. It's got a post-chorus that doesn't lead into an epic solo, and you're like, come on. And I think that's all you can say. It did not leave us happily ever after, unlike the next song. 0 Hour. Happy Ever After 0 Hour.
The sun went down on another perfect day.
Next song is Happy Ever After, 0 Hour. It's another acoustic song.
So, well, it's kind of acoustic.
Mostly acoustic.
Yeah, this song is really, I want to call it fun, but then you listen to any of the lyrics and you're like, oh no. This song, I would say, is exactly, we have an inside joke called Happy Sad Songs. Mm-hmm. Basically everything Everclear has ever written is a happy sad song where it's all major and it's all like, yay, this is great. And then you listen to the words and you're like, oh god.
Yeah. This song definitely was like that, which I thought was really great because this, this little do 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 do, like these like very obvious major intervals, and then over these lyrics that are like people are like the chorus is there are no superheroes now. I think
they're underground.
Yeah, ain't no superheroes. They're underground. Like literally about how your heroes are dying, and.
Which is funny because one of who I imagine was Dave Grohl's heroes, he mentions in a line, just a passing line, there's like, did you find your Shangri-La?
Or like, where is your Shangri-La?
Oh, yeah, where's your Shangri-La? Which we, of course, thought was referencing Mother Love Bone.
Yeah, there's the song, This is Shangri-La, which is one of their bigger songs.
Yeah, and they're one of early grunge bands, and the guy's dead. And so I thought maybe this is a reference to him.
We don't know, though.
It could be. Whatever. Maybe that was just us looking into it. But then, all right, so as the
Dave Grohl, let us know.
Yeah, right. Call out to him, yeah. So the song starts off with just Grohl on guitar, and then there's layers of Grohl and guitar and bass, and then there's layers of Grohl, guitar, bass, and a little bit of drums. Mm-hmm. Just really, really light, almost not there drums. But then it all goes away for this awesome solo, which I would swear Jack Johnson stopped by the studio to play.
For real, though. I wrote it was like a smooth, groovy, almost jazzy solo.
Yeah, it was so just this like...
correct in the Jack Johnson thing.
It's this beautiful, slow Jack Johnson summer afternoon where you don't have a single thing to care about, soulful solo. And it's so great and so wonderful, and I absolutely love that solo. It's probably one of my favorite parts of this whole album, because it's just, it understands exactly what it was trying to make. Mm-hmm. And there's even a second solo at the end of the song for 1/10 of a second. He starts playing it, and then the song fades out to the solo.
Yeah, which is my only qualm with this song is the lazy fade out.
I don't know.
It's come on, you could have just ended with a ding.
Well, it's talking about it's the sort of lingering summer sadness feel, which is what I think the fade out sort of symbolizes.
Those who chose to fade away instead of burn out.
I'm disappointed.
Shut up.
But speaking of things that haven't faded away, Paul McCartney in Sunday Rain.
Paul McCartney's in the song. All right.
Sunday Rain. Yeah, Paul McCartney's part of this one.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so Paul McCartney's playing the drums.
Okay.
Paul McCartney, well known for playing the drums on the Beatles albums. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why the drums were like...
Yeah. Well, that's what's interesting about this, is that Paul McCartney would just stop by the studio, and Dave Grohl didn't have the guitars recorded or anything. He just kind of performed it acoustically, a cappella for him. Paul McCartney was like, just keep singing that. And he wrote the drum line right there.
And then it makes sense that then Taylor Hawkins performs the lead vocals on this song.
Why is that?
Because Paul McCartney was playing the drums, so Taylor Hawkins had nothing to do.
Sorry, I was like, yeah, what? Yeah. Well, I thought they might have re-recorded it. Just Paul wrote it. But no, yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah, this is the song. It's the longest song on the album. It's 6 minutes. And yeah, of the longest song on the album, it has Hawkins singing.
Yeah.
And that was really surprising to me, because...
Yeah, when I first listened to it, the verse is a interesting mesh. It's Hawkins and Grohl layered together.
Yeah.
Because you can hear Grohl in there. It's just he's singing back up to Hawkins.
Yeah, we actually had to look it up because it was this isn't quite Grohl. It's not quite right in some way.
Yeah. And then upon looking it up, it's it's because Taylor Hawkins is singing lead and Grohl is just back up.
But then as soon as we found out Hawkins singing lead, I thought, this sounds just like Coda, his solo album.
Yeah.
Which, it sounds just like his solo album. This is absolutely 100%.
Pretty 80s, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's very, I would say that I wrote that the vocals is super 80s pop rock, almost new wave, very reverby.
Because I don't think Taylor Hawkins can sound any other way.
Oh, I mean, even Chevy Metal, he was pretty good.
That's true. But
he did sing the more more 80s songs than he was singing for Chevy Metal. Yeah, it's just, this is a very long song, and it does get all over the place. I would say this song is very sort of 60s and 70s rock in the It's 80s rock in the verse and the chorus, and then when it gets to the solo and the bridge, it switches back to 60s and 70s, you know, chum, 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 sort of things. And
yeah, I had a problem with, like, the ending minute or so, is that it just got very jammy.
Well, I think that was the point. Well, the thing is, this song is, I would say, at least half very Beatles-inspired, and not just because Paul McCartney was there. Like, the intro solo lead riff is so Beatles it hurts. And then I would say the end is very, like I said, 60s, 70s rock kicking up into a solo that just kind of does its own thing. The solo starts off very sort of by itself almost, with maybe some drums, and there's very, very long pauses in between the sections of the solo. And then late song, it gets up in there with some awesome soulfulness. And yes, I agree, it gets very jammy. And then it ends, and then I guess they were like, Rami hasn't done enough on this album.
Have him start shredding on the piano randomly.
Yeah, the ending of this song is just a recording of a piano player, assumably Rami, just playing scales up and down the keyboard really fast, really well, but it has nothing to do with the song.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with this song, and it has nothing to do with the next song either.
It's literally just, I guess they wanted to play more Rami, I guess?
I guess, or they were... I have no idea why they thought that piano was a good idea.
But anyway, it's completely out of nowhere. And maybe it's sort of like the sort of mysterious, jammy, piano-y quality that was in the Beatles, and they wanted to make it sound like that.
Maybe.
But for me, it just sounds out of place.
That was the same jarringness I had with... There was this weird, like, drum fill in the middle of the song.
Yes.
Where it was like the drummer did a fill, like, on the measure after he was supposed to.
Well, it's because he just recorded the drum tracks, and then Grohl took those tracks and was like, well, I guess we'll make a song with this.
Yeah, it just sounded like the drummer did something wacky, and like maybe he did.
It's Paul McCartney.
He probably did something wacky.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Anyway.
But all in all, this is a really good song with lots of great ideas. But it's a little weird. It's all over the place sonically, like I said, 80s plus 60s plus 70s.
I think it's because it might be because of having weird lineup things, you know, because it's weird to have Taylor sing. And it's weird to have Paul McCartney play the drums.
Yes, absolutely. I thought that was super strange, but it's still a good song, except for I would cut the weird piano at the end, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I would say you have to draw a line somewhere. Just like this next song, The Line.
Yes or no, what is truth but a dirty black cloud?
The Line. What say you?
There's a lot of ahs and woes.
I was gonna say, this song, I hate to say this about a Foo Fighters song, but of a Foo Fighters song, this is the album filler song, I feel.
And it was the third single.
Yeah, which is what was really surprising to me, because the intro is mostly just Dave singing by himself with like a ching, ching, ching on the guitar. And there's really just light instrumentation underneath that's basically you're ignoring for just Grohl.
Yes. Honestly, my favorite part of the song is the pre-chorus woes.
Which is weird to say because the whole album is full of woes, and you gotta...
But like where he's singing woe, not where the magic Grohl angels are singing woe.
The magical Grohl angels. Yes, and the thing is, it kicks it up in the chorus a little bit, and there's like a very riffy, sort of driven chorus thing. But the problem is Dave Grohl sounds like he's like, it's the line. He just sounds like he's tired.
Yeah.
And I'm just like...
I wrote that there's like a lot of noise in the chorus. Like there's just a lot of like, it's like every instrument has fuzz on it, and then there's the like ahs on top of it, and his voice, the lyrics aren't very clear. It's like there's just a lot of sound that is unintelligible to my ears, which is weird about like... That's usually a problem I only have with, like, death metal, you know, is that there's just too much noise,
well,
but, like...
That's what's interesting, because I think it's because this was made by a pop producer who says every sonic area has to be filled. And that's why, and I think that's the reason why there's so many oohs and ahs in this album, is because the pop producer probably said every area on the sonic spectrum must be maxed out. We have to have that brick wall of sound. In order to get that, you have to fill every single moment with something that's filling the mids, and something that's filling the trebles, and something that's filling the bass, and just all of it filled. And that's why there's so much ahs, is my opinion on it. I don't know if that's true.
There's just a lot of noise in this song.
And so,
I feel like it takes away from the melody and the riff.
See,
because I can barely hear a riff.
Yeah. I would say the only part of this song that really, for me, has any energy or fun or interesting rhythms to it is the bridge/solo area. Everyone finally gets to kick it up a little bit, have a better time. You can't really hear the ahs as much. It's much more full of life. As opposed to the rest of the song, which just feels just like it's a song. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It feels like a pop person produced it. And that kind of, for me, is disappointing somewhat.
Yeah.
Is there nothing else you can say about this?
only wrote like 2 sentences about this
Yeah,
song.
I was shocked at how much I was just not into this.
It was just an alright song. So.
Alright, so let's move on to the title track then. Concrete.
And gold.
One more time. Concrete.
And gold.
Yeah.
You lost your mind.
Concrete and gold.
It's the best song.
Do you think so?
No. But
let's say this is the song I think you would like the least.
it's the song you take a lot of drugs and lay on the floor to.
So this song is, like I think, and a lot of critics probably think too, this is Pink Floyd as done by the Foo Fighters. And that's exactly why you don't like it.
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I'd have to be on a lot of drugs to like it.
No, this song is so, like, obviously Dave Grohl, like, put on, Dark Side of the Moon or whatever, and just, like, when he was at that California place and just laid on the floor. I don't know if he did any drugs, I doubt it. Maybe smoked some dank chronic, but my point is, he definitely listened to some Pink Floyd before writing this song.
It's just so slow.
This song, the lead riff you hear in the verse and everything is so fuzzed out. It's that same level of almost obnoxious fuzz and bass where it's just like...
It's such stoner rock.
I said it was almost doom metal
Yeah.
in how sort of like fuzzy it was. If it was just a little bit more crunchy, it's just so...
Doom alt.
Yeah. And then the chorus... which, of course, you can't escape your oohs and ahs, because that's just how this album is. Even though that fuzz is taking up so much sonic space, you have to have the oohs and ahs to take up just that little bit of extra. But even so, the chorus has this awesome, slow chug riff that's just like, he understands that sort of Pink Floyd stoned out, I'm researching deep into my own mind sort of music, and this totally gets it. And then halfway through, it's like, what if we had a section that was acoustic guitar and wind noises? And
It felt very Western.
No,
It's like I'm standing on the savannah having
Savannah?
on the like desert just having a Western moment.
Yeah,
with like some peyote. I don't know.
Well, no, I would say it's very much with the wind noises, and there's like a bird sounds at one point, and there's the acoustic. It's very like something David Gilmour would just absolutely. I'm sure. I'm sure he would love it if someone from Pink Floyd who was still alive was like, "You made a good song, Dave." He'd be like, "Oh my!" And it's just so great, this little acoustic-y section that really it's sort of because it's supposed to deliberately like counteract that fuzzy. It's just very clean and pretty and nice.
It's still the same slow kind of.
There's a little bit more to it. But what's great is they go back into the slow, and then the song ends at it's 5.5 minutes long, and the song ends at about 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, and just kind of sustains.
Like big, it goes, and it sustains that note
forever
and ever until it finally dies, and then it eventually says the phrase,
"Fuck you, Daryl."
Yeah, I guess.
Who's Daryl?
I don't know.
If anybody knows who Daryl is, please comment.
Yeah. So, all in all, I thought Concrete and Gold was great. That song, it's fuzzy and it's groovy and it's just a good time.
I would like it sometimes.
Yeah. And that's fine. That's okay. I respect that. And like I said, I knew...
I'd have to be in a certain mood to enjoy that song. I'm like...
That mood is drugs.
You might be right there.
No, but all in all, I quite liked this song. And I think we can go on to talking about the whole album now.
Yeah.
Because there's not much to say about it. There's not much to the song. It's just really good. So all in all, I would say... So this song has so much...
This album?
That's what I said. This album has so much weird history going on with it. Like I said, he broke his leg and he said, I'm not going to do music for a year. Then 6 months in, he was like, I am going to do music.
Never mind.
And then he went to California without the rest of the band to write for like days and days and days at a time.
And then supposedly he just texts the other band members and goes, we're going into the studio now. And they go, okay.
Yeah, and supposedly showed them and they're like, oh, this is definitely the right direction that we're going in for this. Then he goes and talks to the pop producer, Bird and the Bee, and he just meets all these guys at the studio. No, it's just really interesting how he met so many people and worked with so many people on this album that it has such a weird sound. This album, I would say 3 of the songs have a consistent tone in this album, and that's the heavy fuzz tone. Mm-hmm. And coincidentally, if I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite songs on this album, I'm going to say my number 1 song on this album was absolutely, it was Make It Right. with that bluesy riff, and it was definitely the Justin Timberlake, it really pulled it out for me. Now, with that bluesy riff and the old school 60s, 70s rock in the chorus, it was so easy to groove to and dance to, and it was awesome. I absolutely just loved it to death. And my second favorite was definitely La Di Da. It was so fuzzy, it practically hurt. And Dave Grohl was getting all those screams in there, and it just felt raw and real and awesome. And I love sort of bluesy, fuzzy awesomeness, and that was just right there. And then, of course, my last favorite was Concrete and Gold. Because I like Pink Floyd, and I like the fuzz, and I love what he was going for, and I love how chilled out this was. It was awesome. What about you?
Okay, my 3 favorite songs, in no particular order. Can I make it 4?
Sure.
In no particular order. Run. Actually, Run's probably my favorite.
I guessed that earlier.
You did guess that earlier. And just because I think it's got the most energy out of any song on the album, and it's just really good, and I like it, and there's a reason there's the first single. And then other 3 favorite songs, Make It Right, and La Di Da.
Of course.
And Happy Ever After. I
really
liked.
Is it because of the happy, sad sort of acoustic-iness to it?
Yeah, and it's just, I that song particularly, I liked, it reminded me a lot of the acoustic part of In Your Honor, where it's the vocals were so forward, and it just felt especially in the beginning, it felt it's just him sitting there with his guitar, in front of a microphone, and it was, a lot of the album had too many effects on the vocals, in my opinion, and that song really didn't.
That's one of your things. You like dry vocals.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason why I really like that song a lot.
I agree completely. That song is also very much amazing, and I would say I think I wrote that was my 4th too. I think. When it comes to bottom 3, I think my least favorite, I gotta say,
bottom 3 or bottom 1.
Okay, bottom 1, I guess. It's hard to do bottom 3 because it's a really good album. My bottom 1 is Dirty Water. Dirty Water is just. I don't mean to be mean to it. It's so slow, and the dream chorus sort of fill up 90% of the chorus, and there's no energy, and it's just kind of sad, and I'm just and
it takes a lot of time to get
to the part where that's energized.
Far. Yeah. When it's a 5-minute long song, and I feel it doesn't get that far for being so long.
Yeah, I feel all these songs in this album were very long, which I'm not usually the kind of person to say, Foo Fighters album, let's make that as short as possible, but everything on this album was super long.
Yeah, all the songs were about 4 minutes long or more.
Yeah, and I definitely don't think the Hawkins song with Paul McCartney needed to be 6 minutes.
Yeah. It wasn't that epic.
Yeah.
It was still a good song, though.
Yeah, and Foo Fighters, we love to death. So in the end, what would you rate this album?
In comparison to the Foo Fighters discography as a whole, or to music as a whole, because I will have it very different ratings.
Tell us both.
In comparison to other Foo Fighters albums, I'd honestly say it was a 5 or 4 even.
Wow.
It's not my favorite Foo Fighters album.
Okay.
By a long shot.
Well, I mean, The Color and the Shape and Echo Sounds Patience are great.
That's the thing. That's the thing. In comparison to such a stellar discography, it's hard to beat.
But compared to music overall, the real question.
Compared to alt rock as a whole genre, I'd say it's a 7 or 8.
Yeah,
I guess.
I thought this album was an 8, absolutely. I loved this album. This album is awesome. Compared to the heavy fuzz sort of stuff also on Queens of the Stone Age album, I would say I like this way more. And as far as the stoner rock, alt rock sort of genre, I thought this album was smoking. Pun intended. But, no, I'm definitely putting these songs, most of them, not Dirty Water, on my iPod. No, I'll put Dirty Water on just so I have all the Foo Fighters songs, because you can't have enough Foo Fighters.
Yeah, I think, there's no way I'd delete any of this off my iPod. Have to retain my cred as a Foo Fighters fan.
It's so true. They're so good. I look forward to their next concert. They're throwing their own festival, and hopefully we can be there. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see them on their concert tour. Either way, we've been maybe a little bit biased, but we try to be critical, because everyone's a critic, including us. Ow. Bye-bye.